but thank you so much for being here today. My name is Izzy, this is Cameron, and we're going to be presenting on spaces and systems. So some of this is probably going to be some of those practical stuff you'll get in the next few days. We're talking about your emails, we're talking about Canvas, so your timetables, we're talking about the Wi-Fi, everything that you're going to need to be able to get in and get to your places on Monday and get started in college well. So,
we just got to wait for the slides to show up.
While we're waiting, if you all want to give yourselves a little shake out, I say you're sitting there for a while now and it's early in the morning. I know I'm wrecked. I'd rather be out and about.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. So as Izzy said, we're here just to give you some practical information from our perspective as students. What are things that we think as first years do we wish that we had listened to when we were first year, and things that can help you get your week started on Monday to the best of your ability. So just to say, there is no right or wrong way to start college. It's all a different journey to each one of you. This is just some things that we think might be helpful to note down, to think about, and to consider over the next few weeks. So where is the clicker, which is here?
And also just to let you know, I'm a second year. I was exactly in your position about 2 years ago because I took a year out, but I've also never done an orientation. So we're all in this together, and for some reason I'm up here. But I was a nightmare of a first year. I didn't have the Wi-Fi for the first 2 weeks. I didn't go into the library until Christmas. I didn't have my email sorted for 3 weeks. And I rocked into the library and in about November, December, and just started crying. Like actually sobbing to the poor woman sitting at the desk because I had not a clue what was going on. I didn't show up to any of this, so you guys are really ahead of the game. You can have redemption arcs, as you can see, but when I was thinking of what did I really need to know when I came in, these are some of the questions that I remember thinking. So Eduroam, what's Eduroam? What would you use Canvas for? What is the Safe Zone app? Where do you go if you need IT support? And what's Cara do?
Perfect. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Eduroam, so the university Wi-Fi. So just by a show of hands, how many of you have been able to log on to Eduroam so far?
That's okay.
That's
quite good. I had so many sessions yesterday that not one person in the room had got the Wi-Fi yet, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. And the caveat we've been saying for this session about Wi-Fi and university Wi-Fi is that you will have, over the course of the 3 to 5 years that you might be with us, problems with the Wi-Fi. It's trying to support over 20,000 students and 4,000 staff members, so it's a lot of capacity on one Wi-Fi system. So there is some times where it might be a little bit patchy, a little bit spotty, but what we want you to be aware of is it because the Wi-Fi is down, or is it because maybe there's an issue with how you've set it up? So it is an app that you need to get. It is something that you have to download onto your laptop or your phone or whatever device that you're using. You will log into Eduroam using your student ID number, which is also your CAO number. So the tip that we're giving to people now, you use your student ID number for pretty much everything you need over the course of the next 3 to 5 years that you're here, whether it's to write on an assignment, on an exam, log into the Wi-Fi, logging into your Canvas, whatever it might be. So having some time over the next week or so to maybe try and memorize that, it will make your life a lot easier as you're going through your first year. But you will log in using your student ID number and the password that's been assigned to you. We would recommend that you also change that password. It's a default password that's originally set for you to get you started. So changes to something that's a bit more secure. And if you are having trouble with logging onto the Wi-Fi, we'll talk a little bit more in the session about where you can go to get support for that. There is a test you'll see on the kind of the slide here underneath the kind of red box. There is an Eduroam test that is available for students and staff and visitors who are here to use. It will grant you 24-hour access to the Wi-Fi on campus, irrespective of having to log in with your student ID and password. So if you are struggling to get on with that, sometimes if you've just registered now or you're kind of in the process of doing that, it might take a little bit of time for your student ID and password to be recognized. That is another option for you to use over the course of your first week for lectures, particularly if you're the kind of person that likes to take notes online or through a device that might need to be connected to the internet. Maybe have a little bit of a test today to see, can you log on, can you get that sorted, and are you set and ready for Monday for your first lecture?
And just to let you know, the Wi-Fi as well, it's quite good because Eduroam is used all over the EU, so all over Europe. The University in Amsterdam, University in Paris, University in Oslo, nearly every major city with their major universities uses this Wi-Fi. So let's say you're over in Amsterdam, you're lost, you don't have your friends, you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have 3G, your Roman data's gone, you can walk onto the university campus and it'll connect automatically once you're signed up for this. Once you're signed up for it here, you're signed up for it all over Europe. So it's actually quite handy to have, especially if you're traveling.
Yeah. And so the next thing that we want to talk to you about is that the university is, and you've heard it this morning and you've heard it just in the session beforehand, the university is committed to making sure that not only that you feel like you belong here, but that you also feel safe whilst you're here with us. And so through that we do the University of Galway Safe Zone app, which has a number of features that we think are pretty good to use and good to know, particularly if it's your first time on campus, it's your first time maybe living by yourself or living away from home. And there's 4 features that we're going to talk about here on the Safe Zone app. 2 kind of like practical logistical things, and 2 that are directly related to how you might keep yourself safe on campus. The first being that there is an interactive map. That's one of the best features about the Safe Zone app, is that there is an interactive map that you can use. By show of hands, how many of you have struggled a little bit over the last couple of days to navigate to the different rooms, to find where you're supposed to be?
You didn't even finish the question and everyone's hand was going up.
I'm not even finishing the question, Peter. And I still struggle. I've been at this university for many years. I'm a lot older than a lot of you and a lot older than Izzy, but I still get lost sometimes. I get an email saying, you've got a class here or you've got a meeting here. And I'm like, where am I going? So this is a handy way just to be able to direct yourself. You choose if you enable location services that you share that with that. If that's the case, it will direct you directly to where you're going. If not, you just got to pick a starting point to say, I'm starting here and this is where I want to end up. And it will direct you to where that building or classroom or location is. Some buildings have changed the name. I know yesterday I got informed that the IT building is now the CSB building, the Computer Science building. So that's slightly changed. But it will direct you generally to where you need to be, at least into the building where you might find someone that you can ask that question of where am I going. The second thing is, I'm not sure how many people are aware of it, is around there's a shuttle bus service that's free for University of Galway students to use all the way from Dunlan Village, all the way down, right down to here to South Campus, with multiple stops along the university to stop for you. It goes roughly every 15 minutes, let's say, from each of the bus stops, but this Safe Zone app allows you to see in real time where the bus is and plan which bus stop you need to get to and how you might need to plan your journey from point A to point B. Particularly if you've got classes that are all over the campus and you've only got 10 minutes in between, this is a handy way to navigate yourself around, and also a handy way to kind of get from point A to point B and kind of see a bit more of the campus if you're stuck in one particular location for a lot of your classes.
Or if it's lashing rain.
Or if it's lashing rain,
which
and it is Galway. Yeah, so if you're not ready for the rain now, by Christmas you'll definitely be ready for the rain. So those are the 2, I'd say, practical things that this allows you to do. There's 2 safety mechanisms as well built into this app, which is primarily one of the reasons why it was set up. You see on the slide that big red button that's on the kind of the phone screen there. If you find yourself in a situation of distress, you feel a little unsafe, a little uncomfortable, or you find someone else on campus that is feeling in distress or uncomfortable, you can press that button and it'll alert campus security immediately for you, who can then help you connect with the relevant emergency services that you might require for that situation. So it allows you to have a real-time connection to that safe, secure support that you might need on your time during your time on campus. And the second thing is it allows you to do a check-in. So say you're working late in the library, you might be studying late, or you've a lab that's run over, and it's a little bit dark. As I said, for a lot of you, it might be your first time living away from home, it might be your first time living in a new country, it might be your first time living by yourself and not knowing very many people here. So you might feel a little bit uncomfortable or a little bit kind of uneasy walking from like the library to Car Village or to your car or to a bus, and it might be a little bit dark. You can do a check-in that says, check in with me in 15 minutes if I haven't said that I'm okay. And what that will do is that after that time point that you've selected, campus security will give you a ring and just say, are you doing all right? Is there anything that we can do for you? And it might be just that, I bumped into Izzy and we're having a chat and I forgot that I did that. Or it could be that I actually do need some help, I do need some assistance, this is where I am, can you come help me with something that I'm experiencing right now? So it's a really handy way of just keeping yourself safe and secure on campus and having that connection to the different services that you might need.
Next, so we've given you 2 apps so far to download. We have Eduroam, the Wi-Fi, we have Safe Zone, the safety app. This Cara, so this is more place to go if you have questions. This is somewhere to find information. Cara is a 24/7, 365 AI. So it's run by the university and it's run by student services. So it's monitored by staff quite a lot. And you input a question into Cara, you can find it on the University of Galway website, and it'll give you back a response. It's quite good because, in a way, if, let's say, 60 people ask in a day, oh, why isn't the Wi-Fi working? The staff in the university then go, oh, there must be an issue with the Wi-Fi, which there normally is. You can ask a range of different questions, but if it doesn't give you the answer that you want or looking for or need, it can put you in touch with a real-life staff member as well. It's also quite good for not just the kind of practical questions, but for supports. So you've been told a little bit about the support wheel with all the cards that are on your seats. This can link you in with that support wheel as well if you don't even know what help you need. So yeah, it's free to use as well for all University of Galway students, and it's just a handy mechanism to have and to know about.
Absolutely. So the next few slides are two of the most important things that we want you to take from the session today. How many of you have managed to log into your email to date? Amazing.
Okay, really good.
Officially
well done,
my
guys.
favorite group. That's nearly everyone.
You're ahead of me.
Yeah. It is really important for two reasons. We'll talk about why logging into your email is important. And it seems like one of the really basic things to say to you at orientation. It is a little bit tricky sometimes with multi-factor authentication. Trust me, you will be frustrated by Christmas. The amount of times you're texting yourself, the amount of times you're putting in a code. I can see you agreeing with me. It never stops. It always happens. It is there for your safety, to make sure that your emails is protected, but it is good to become familiarized with that over the course of the next few days before you start getting into kind of an intense semester of classes and tutorials and labs. It is something, sometimes when people are registering, they might register with a different phone number. If that's the case for you, we would say, there is a desk that we'll talk about in one of the future slides where you can pop in and get some support, but making sure that it's your phone number that's connected to the Authenticator app, making sure that you know how it works, making sure that it works fine for you from your phone to your laptop or whatever device you might be using for your time here in university. It is one of the most key points that you will be contacted through, not just from the university's perspective, but also from some of your academics. Some academics will solely choose to contact you through email. Some will do that through Canvas, which is we'll talk about in the next slide. But we said this in every session that we've done around kind of stories around people that haven't looked at their emails. I know it's a bit of a change in routine maybe for some people to look at their emails every day or a couple of times a day, but we do know students who have not looked at their email for the entirety of semester one, got to their exam week and realized that they'd missed an entire set of lectures for one module because they never read their emails. So it is really important that you start that routine as soon as you can, check it out, make sure that you know how to log in, that it's working for you, and that's how some communication will come to you. Generally real-time communication, like the lecture venue has changed, the lab time has changed, this is some information about the exam, all those sort of things will come through your email, so making sure that you can log on. And the second thing that we want you to know about your Office 365 and your email is that it also allows you to have free access to lots of different IT and admin supports that you might need during your time here in university, including PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. You get a free license to use all of these for the time that you're a student here. So there's no point in you paying out of pocket for those services when you get it through your Office 365 by being a student here, being registered here. So we really do want you to look at your emails, put it onto your phone, set the notifications that it'll show up for you, check it regularly. If you find that maybe it's not working or you don't think that something is happening, we'll tell you where to go in a couple of slides to get some support for that.
Next, we have Canvas. So this is a big one. You mightn't have heard about this yet, but we've got a lot of questions over the last day about timetables, modules, where are my classes, where are my lectures, how do I get in touch? This place. So Canvas is another app. Your phone storage is going to be gone by the end of all this, but you have to get it. This is what you're going to be using for the next 3 to 4 years while you're in university. And this is where you're going to submit your assignments. This is where your lecturers put up the modules, the course handbooks, where your classes are, what rooms they're in, what times they're in. A lot of the lecturers post announcements as well, so if something changes or they need to say something to the entire class, they'll post it up here. The reading materials that you're going to be needing for your courses, a lot of it, the links for all of it, will be in this on Canvas. So you're going to have to log in with your University Go email. You're going to have to download it. It'd be really good if you can get this sorted before Monday-ish. If it's not letting you register or you're having issues with registration, we're going to tell you about where to go to get a hand with this, with Canvas. Same place for your email, same place for the Wi-Fi. But there's also a help button if you do run into hassle with it. And it's available 24/7 on and off campus, but it is the main app, the main software that you're going to be using for the next few years for all your academic stuff. So you're not going to be given a timetable as such. You're not going to be handed a sheet of paper and goes, this is all your class in the week, this is where you are for all of them, and this is what time it is. You're going to have to log into this, download it, log into it, and each of your modules is going to have the information for each of their separate classes in it. You have to put your timetable together yourself. Either you write it out, you make a spreadsheet, you Google Docs it, whatever, but you're going to have to do it yourself, put it together yourself, and you do it through this app. This is where you find all that information to do it, to be ready for Monday. So yeah, probably that and your email, that's two most important. That's the ways that people are going to communicate. Your lecturer is going to communicate in your email as well. There'll be societies communicating to you, student union communicating to you. So it's really important to keep checking this as well as your email.
Yeah. I might skip this when we come back to it. We might just do the library support. We'll come back to the too small. And we understand that it's a lot of information maybe to throw at you about your emails and getting Canvas set up. And there's a lot of expectation or perceived expectation for yourselves that you just have to kind of know what you're doing. And we want to just remind you that that's not the case. No one's expecting next week, the lecturers that you're going to meet, no one's expecting you to know everything, to know exactly where you're going to be at all times, to be on time for everything. It takes a little bit of time to feel settled and feel kind of that you have a handle on where you're supposed to be and what your timetable is. And we know that some people are going to be really good at just setting up their email in Canvas and it's going to be working perfectly fine. And others might have some trouble with it and some difficulties with it. So the next two slides that we're going to talk about, and we'll come back to the Too Small Good Start, is just around 2 physical spaces that you can come into to ask for that support, that guidance, or that help. Has anyone managed to navigate their way to the library yet? Okay, a handful of people.
Nice.
The library does seem like quite a daunting big building. I remember when I was in first year going in there and walking around for about 6 weeks, seeing the books, being able to physically touch the books, but not knowing how to take the book out of the library. And I was too nervous and too scared to ask anyone how that worked and how do I do that and where do I go. So the library do have a lot of supports available for you to help you to navigate yourself around there, familiarise yourself with it, and feel comfortable and at home within that space if that's where you choose to study or that's where you choose to do some of your work. For the next few weeks, they have a Get Connected and Welcome hub in the foyer of the library building, right by where the big yellow thing is. If you get yourself to the big yellow thing, you'll see the library, you can't miss it. It's a massive building to the left of it. And that desk is there to answer any questions or queries that you might have around IT support, emails, Canvas, how do I work the library, how do I search for a book, how do I search for a paper, can you support me with helping with referencing for my assignments? All those sort of questions. They've heard them before and they're more than willing and more than happy to answer those questions. They'd rather take 5 minutes to have a conversation with you than you navigate for 6 weeks around the library not knowing where you're supposed to be.
Or you go and screeching to them at Christmas.
That too. Which they'll also help you with if you do.
They don't mind. She did, I mean, she kind of had a little bit of a laugh at me, but you know, we got it sorted in the end.
But what we would recommend is that if you can, over the course of today or Monday or Tuesday next week, if you feel a bit nervous going by yourself, grab a bunch of people that you can go with, some friends from your classes or new people that you've met. They're aware that you may not have your student IDs yet. Go up to the reception and say, look, can we just go in and take a look? There's loads of library tours happening that are going to show you around the building. There's lots of different supports in there, group study rooms. There's an academic writing centre to support you with developing writing skills. There's an innovation and research makerspace. There's 3D printers for people to use. There's loads of things in there that are available for students for free to use over the course of their time here. So if you can't get to a library tour, grab some of your friends that you've made or some new people from your classes and pop in and have a look around and pop in and have a chat with the folks on the desk. Even if it's just, I'm a first year, I've just started here, do you have any advice for me? They're happy to have conversations and chats with first years to make sure that you feel settled walking into that library space.
And that's the place to go if you're having issues with Canvas, email, Wi-Fi, whatever you kind of need. It's library is the one-stop shop for it. They can reset an email for you manually in about 20 minutes. They are genuinely some of the most helpful and nice people on campus. About 95 to 99% of your reading list you can also get in the library. So you will be spending a bit of time. You'll have to go in there eventually. And we would say try to get in there like kind of as soon as possible. I created a mental block for myself, obviously, for a while about the library. Don't do that. Just pop in and have a look.
So we might just pop back really quickly because this is a nice segue to pass over then to yourself as you're on the Student Inquiry Centre. So most of you would have seen from your welcome packs the Too Smart or Good Start kind of programme. Hopefully a lot of you have completed the online e-learning module around kind of getting yourself prepared and started for university. As we've said, there's no right or wrong way to start university. It's a journey that's unique to you. There's things that are going to make you feel comfortable, things that are going to become difficult, or challenges that you might face. Over the course of the next semester, Too Small Good Start is there to support you with questions and challenges that first years face every single year. The first years that were sitting in your chairs last year had the same questions, concerns, hopes, excitement and nerves that you also feel today. And this is a space where you can go to get all that different support, whether it's about emotional well-being, financial well-being, academic well-being, or maybe you just don't know really what you need, but you're just going to pop in there and have a look and see if there's something that can help you, or find someone that can help you. We would recommend, over the course of the next few weeks, checking in maybe once or twice a week with the Good Start Too Small first year hub. See if there's any new information there. Have a look at it. Have a chat with the people that are in your courses and in your classes and say, look, I saw this. This is happening next week, and it's an event about how to support myself to make a study plan. Do you want to go together? Those things can really, really help kind of settle you in, welcome you into the university, and it's a space designed specifically for you as first years to orientate yourself, to make you feel a little bit more at home in what is quite an exciting journey, but can be quite an overwhelming journey for first years when they start in university.
It is the thing as well, when you're going away from the session, we don't really need you to know how to do everything. We just need you to know where to go if you can't do something. So with Wi-Fi and all that, if you can't do that, that's all right. But these are the places to go if you need help getting it sorted. So the Student Inquiry Centre is another physical space that you can go talk to an actual person and get a bit of help. It's over in the Arts Science building, so the concourse, by the big yellow thing just before you go down into the Beeline. It's right smack in front of you. You can pop in Monday to Friday, and remember, there's no such thing as a stupid question. That line, I don't love it, because it is the kind of thing that your secondary school teacher says to you, and you're thinking, well, yeah, you mightn't think it's stupid, but someone else in the room might. In college, it's different. Everyone here is an adult. Everyone here has been in your position before, but also no one really cares too much to think that you're silly, if you get me. If you go up and ask someone, hey, do you know where this lecture hall is? Do you know where this building is? No one's going to look at you sideways. It's not that way. No one is going to be judging you or thinking you're stupid for asking genuine questions. And there really isn't such thing as a stupid question, not when you're thrown into university, into 20,000 students, a massive campus that's around 4 kilometres long. Everyone's going to get lost at some point. Everyone's going to have an issue. These are the guys to go to with queries and questions about really anything, about supports, accommodation, funding, emergency hardship funding, even where a lecture hall is. These are the guys you can pop into.
Absolutely, but we know that that's a lot to throw at you, and we're the last session of a 2-hour block for you, so we understand that there's a little bit of tired brains going on, and it's a Friday morning. If there's 5 things that we want you to remember from this session, is that first is that the Safe Zone app exists for you to use, and we would recommend that you download it. Please set a good routine for yourself to log into your emails regularly, to familiarize yourself with Canvas, make sure you know how it works, make sure you know what modules you're in and what timetable you have, and that there is 2 physical spaces for you to call in with any queries that you might have. The Library Welcome and Get Connected Help Desk and the Student Inquiry Centre. 2 physical spaces on campus that are there designed to support you with any queries that you might have over the course of your, not just your first year, but any time that you're in university with us here.
So we really wanted you guys to ask us a few questions. We want you to just ask whatever you have on your minds. It's something we covered here. If it's not something we covered here and we have a little bit of time, we can answer it, but we're going to have it online. If you get out your phones and you have a question, hit us, but we also have a few prizes. So if we read out a question and you're happy to put your hand out, you'll get a Student Union voucher gift card. So please ask away. Again, no such thing as a stupid question, or if someone even just wants to shout one out, we're happy to answer. How are we doing? I had someone ask us yesterday, why did Richie Feeney retire from Mayo? Which was quite a good one, I have to say. Was my answer. I couldn't give him an answer, unfortunately. That was the only thing I couldn't answer yesterday. Nearly started crying, but... yeah. Oh yeah, we have one. Go on. When do you get your student ID cards? That's a great question. You're going to be getting your student ID cards next week. You're going to be getting an email about a specific time to be able to pick it up. So again, get into your email. If you have any issues with your email, go to Student Inquiry Centre or Library IT Help Desk. Brilliant. But you'll be getting an email about it. You're going to be picking up your student IDs in RSC Cahill, so the building right beside us here, but that'll be next week. But like we said, if you do want to pop into the library to get through the turnstiles, you need a student ID. But at the moment, while you're first years, pop in, just say to them, look, I'm first year, don't have my ID yet, do you mind if I have a look around? But you'll be getting them next week.
We give those to the person that got answered and the person that asked. Yeah. Yes, if you can't go for the specific time that you've been allocated, your student ID will just be there. You just can't go at the other times that are allocated for the other colleges. But if you have to pick it up a couple of days later, that's absolutely fine. They'll keep it for you. They won't throw it out because you can't make the time that they've set for you. Yeah. Great question. So on Canvas, that is exactly where you'll be uploading the vast majority of your assignments, your essays, your lab reports, different things like that. There may be some cases where you print it out and you hand it into the actual lecture, but the vast majority will be uploaded through Canvas. So familiarising yourself with how to do that is going to be really important as well. I'm just conscious of time, and we have a couple of things that we have to
show you where you're going.
We're going to come back to this slide because this is where you're going next. But just to say what happens after the Campus Challenge. So you will have lunch today from 12 to 1. Depending on what program you're in, you will then have different program introductions from 1 to 3. Check your personal timetables, check your Canvas to see which one is assigned for you, depending on this program that you're studying. And then at 3 o'clock in the University Sports Centre in the Kingfisher, just on the kind of the centre of campus, there'll be a Your Space 101, which will tell you everything about societies, clubs, volunteering, extracurriculars, all those fun things outside of your academics that you may choose to get involved in.
You have the 6 p.m, so the Fulcher Big Bash in Oristamac Lane. This is Oristamac Lane. That is Sult, the bar behind us. So you have your big kind of welcome Big Bash, comedy bingo, silent disco music, and much more. That actually sounds quite good. But we also have for you today, so it's a campus challenge. It's going to be finding your way around college, navigating your way around. We're going to get you to go over this way, so you're going in the back door, you're going to get a cup on the way, but if you see, you have to find an ambassador with a flag, they'll be waiting for you, and you'll follow the ambassador, so just follow the big flag.
So there's 3 ambassadors.
3 ambassadors.
Try and divide yourself equally across the 3 ambassadors, don't all go to one. So if you see that there's too many people at one, move to another one. You'll be going straight to the Campus Challenge, they'll be helping you out, and then you have lunch after that. So
guys, thank you so much for being so attentive, for listening to us first thing in the morning. Have a great rest of your day, and have a great weekend in Freshers.